Okay, welcome everyone. I am Thomas Miller, do economic research for Strategas, and I have been the GIC chair for the last several years. So I'd like to say hello to some distinguished guests, some old friends, and some new folks who are joining us here for the first time. So some housekeeping items. We will have some GIC business to start off. We will then go into the College of Central Banker announcements. We'll have some talks on central bank independence as well as policy making. We'll do an economic outlook, and then we ask everyone to join us for lunch across the hall. So today's event has been approved for continuing education credits. If you're interested in that, please email Colleen Murphy for that description. So let me tell you a little about the Global Interdependence Center. For those who don't know, I feel a little awkward describing this because some of the individuals who have made this organization what it is are here today. But for those who are unfamiliar, the Global Interdependence Center is an organization that tries to organize get-togethers without a particular viewpoint for educational purposes, so everyone can debate, can take away something that they might not have come to this day with. It's not to advocate any particular viewpoint, but to foster a discussion. So in 1976, there was a celebration of American independence that was going on here in Philadelphia. It was a very popular event. At that time, there were some forward-thinking individuals who thought during this celebration of independence, wouldn't it be important to have an organization that also discusses interdependence? And that was where GIC started. It got the attention of the academic community here in town. That spread. It got the attention of the business community locally, and then became the international organization that it is today. So, and I think today will be a success if everyone takes something away that they did not know when they got here. So our first order of business is the presentation of the Global Citizen Award. And so I'll tell you a little bit about this award, and then tell you a little bit about Martin Heldring, who is the recipient here this year. So the Global Citizen Award was established to celebrate those who have demonstrated a commitment to the principles set forth in the Declaration of Interdependence, which is the Global Interdependence Center's founding document. And for those who have been strong advocates of this mission, the idea that globalization does matter, increasing knowledge and understanding and partnership are important goals. And so with a decade of service on GIC's board of directors, 8 of which as the treasurer, we are pleased to recognize Martin Heldring for his ongoing support and leadership of the Global Interdependence Center, and we want to present him with the 2019 Global Citizen Award. So Martin, please come.
Looking at the agenda, I noticed that there's only a few minutes, so I'll keep my remarks short. First of all, Don, I want to thank you for the award, and the executive committee as well. I'm deeply humbled and grateful for this award. It's hard to imagine this represents my 5th decade in being involved in GIC events. That tells you something about how old I am, but also it tells you I was involved right from the very beginning. I remember seeing early drafts of the Declaration of Interdependence back in the mid-70s, and that was a time, I was in Foreign Service School at Georgetown, and that was a time when nobody was really talking about international issues. When I went to Georgetown, my college counselor at Episcopal, a local high school here, said, well, why are you going there? And in particular, why are you studying international? And he just had no concept of even the notion of it. So we have certainly come a long way since then, and I'm glad that GIC played a not insignificant role in that, and that I was able to play some role in that myself. So I'm I'm also very gratified that this same award my father received 10 years ago. And he passed away about 6 years ago. I miss him still, but wherever he might be, I think he'd be looking down and saying that he was pleased. So thank you very much again. I really appreciate it. Unfortunately, my family is all over the world and not here, so maybe there's a tape of this that they can see. Thank you again. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Martin. So the next order of business is we're going to go through the 2020 board officers, and then we'll do some board updates, so some GIC business. Maybe I could ask the incoming board officers for next year to stand up. First, our incoming chair, Kathleen Stephenson. Our vice chair of program, Bill Kennedy. Vice chair, Michael Drury. Vice Chair Peter Gold. Secretary George Chechekos. And Treasurer Michael Delord. Well, thank you to our incoming board officers. We're also going to have a special update from Stephanie Mackay, who is the Chief Innovation Officer at the Columbus Community Center and a GIC board member. Asked Stephanie to come up and discuss some of her activities recently.
I don't have to repeat my name and title, so you know who I am. And I've been on the board of the GIC for a couple of years. I am very excited to announce that I was recently appointed to the Community Advisory Council that reports to the Federal Reserve Board of Governors. And it kind of came as a shock. It's kind of hard to get on the board, apparently. I just wanted to give you some background about that and why it ties into what I do at Columbus. So as the Chief Innovation Officer, we serve people with intellectual disabilities and physical disabilities. And they really are considered the poorest of the poor and 20% of our population. So when I was looking at the application for the CAC, I noticed that there was no one from Utah. And Utah really must be the center of the universe, because I live there. And nobody represented individuals with disabilities, which is a huge swath of our population. So I kind of got mad and decided I'd apply. And so I was really pleased when I got the appointment. There's 15 of us spread from around the country with different backgrounds. And there'll be 2 of us who actually reside in the San Francisco Federal Reserve System. So I've been getting to know my San Francisco Fed friends. They keep telling me I'm part of the Fed family, and I have a feeling that lasts a lifetime. I hope that's a good thing. There's 3 committees that report to the Board of Governors: the Community Depository Institutions Advisory Council, the Federal Advisory Council, and then the Community Advisory Council, and that's the one that I'm the member of. And they started the CAC in 2015, so it was very new, and I think an important recognition of the, they really focus on lower income individuals and the impact, or where they fit into the economy, and the impact they have in our community. So they get really down to the granular level with this particular committee when we have our meetings with the Fed, and we'll meet with them in May and November. I asked the San Francisco Federal Reserve person what I should say about monetary policy, since I am not the one who should be talking about it up here. But what she did mention to me was that the point of the CAC and the message to get out through this particular committee is looking at our macroeconomic data and how good it really is. But we want to, at the CAC level, we're really going to focus on things more granular, people that aren't getting caught up in the data and what's happening in our individual communities. So in Utah, all states and all communities now, affordable housing, financial products, changes to the Community Reinvestment Act. In Utah in particular, we'll be looking at industrial loan banks and the financial technology companies that are coming in and getting bank charters very specific to Utah that can have some interesting ramifications. And so just in conclusion, so you can take the macro and the micro and think about the impact in the individual community. You all know somebody who has a disability, either in your family or elsewhere. And one of our biggest challenges that we're seeing as parents, but I don't think we see as society right now, are the incoming young adults that are coming out of high school, and they're going to face young adults with autism an 85% unemployment rate, and they're just going to get left behind even though they can work. So I feel it's my goal to represent individuals like that and make sure that they get pulled out of the data where they're lost and they get recognized for the contributions that they can make to the community. And I want to thank my GIC colleagues for giving me the opportunity to do that, because without this board membership, they probably would have tossed my resume in the trash can. So anyway, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Stephanie. So the next item on the agenda is we're going to talk about the College of Central Bankers. I'm going to invite up Peter Gold, who's a principal with the Gold Group and also a GIC vice chair. He's been instrumental in forming this organization over the past several years, and he will talk about the 2019 inductees.
Thanks, Don, and thank you, Stephanie, as well. So it is my pleasure to announce our new members of the GIC's College of Central Bankers. Delighted to do it. This initiative, which we announced at last year's annual gathering, serves to further sustain and enhance GIC's relationship with former leaders of the world's central banks. It also provides an additional platform for them to continue to express their views and continue to contribute to important international dialogue. It's been a pleasure to work alongside our board members on the evolution of this project with the input and involvement of many others, many of whom are in this room today. We are most grateful for their thought leadership and their financial support of its activities. As the College of Central Bankers continues to evolve, the GIC and the college will continue to pursue corporate, governmental, and foundation sponsorships and endowments. These come with appropriate promotional benefits, associations, and exposures. In fact, we are, as we sit here today, currently hard at work on the construction of our yet-to-be-named virtual classrooms, computer laboratories, libraries, and lecture series. Now, we are pleased to share with you that two of our inaugural fellow members of the college who were inducted in 2018 are here with us today, and I just would like them to stand for a second. Christian Nourier, former governor of the Banque de France. Please stand up, Christian. Thank you. And Anthony Santanaro, former president of the Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us here today. Greatly appreciate it. And now I'm delighted to formally announce this year's inductees. They are Dennis Lockhart, former president of the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta, and Charles Plosser, former president of the Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia. Let me just say about these two gentlemen who you'll hear from in a moment. Both have participated as speakers over a many-year period of time in GIC's programming in the U.S. and around the world. In fact, they have participated between them in over 20 conferences, including our hallmark events such as the Rocky Mountain Economic Summit at Jackson Hole and our Central Banking Series with the Banque de France in Paris. Both Dennis and Charles are also former recipients of GIC's Global Citizen Award of 2017 and 2011 respectively. We are so delighted to welcome you both to our College of Central Bankers. We thank you. We look forward to your remarks today and to your future involvement with GIC. And now, if I could, I would like to ask up Dennis and Charles and Tony and Christian for a photo, a very quick photo, and we'll be on with the proceedings. Thank you. Congratulations.